This is your second Wes Anderson film?
Yes.
Here we are. What was your first?
The obvious one.
Fantastic Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say the one for people who haven't watched Wes Anderson films.
Yes.
Well, that was a movie.
Hello and welcome back to First Thoughts. I'm Simon, this is Justin, and today we're giving our first thoughts on The Phoenician Scheme, the latest Wes Anderson film starring Benicio del Toro and most of the usual Wes Anderson people. I don't know that the last time Owen Wilson was in a Wes Anderson film. It was French Dispatch, so it was a couple ago, but it's got like the usual guys. It's introducing new people to the flow, like Michael Cera. I'm very curious to get the opinion of somebody who's not really accustomed to Wes Anderson. You said the only film by him you'd seen so far is, as I put it, the one non-Wes Anderson people watch, which is the Fantastic Mr. Fox, because, you know, we were kids and it was like, ooh, stop motion animation, that's big right now because of Coraline and all that shit.
Yeah, that's true.
I was going to tell you to watch like Moonrise Kingdom and Grand Budapest Hotel before this, and I didn't. I forgot to. This movie came out earlier than I thought it did. How you feeling, Justin?
So, you know, I've seen a lot of Wes Anderson movie trailers, and yeah, they capture the vibe very, very well.
Yeah.
Now, it's a little harder. It's a little more aggressive in an actual movie. It's
a much longer format than a trailer.
But I found it very interesting. A little overwhelming at times, especially when people wanted to speak very fast-paced.
Right.
There's one guy at the beginning, I caught every 10th word he said, but I caught the gist of the scene, so I guess that was a little magical there, but like, wow.
Yeah.
But,
it's definitely, and I've possibly accused of in the past, I don't believe this, it's definitely something that's said that Wes Anderson is a style over substance director. I don't think that's true. I think he does have substance to his movies when he wants to. Some of them are kind of just fun and superfluous, but he does have substance when he wants to. I think he's capable of that, but he definitely has a very distinct style that everybody who watches his movies is used to and loves, but if you're not used to it, it's definitely a lot to digest.
It was a lot, but I enjoyed especially the cinematography of the movie.
Yeah.
Some of those shots were framed insanely.
Yeah.
Especially towards the beginning.
That's what he's known for.
Yeah,
you know that? Okay.
Because it comes across in the trailers.
Yeah.
That he has like these crazy shots, but it's just like nobody I didn't care enough about the movies. Nobody else I knew cared enough about the movies. Although I think I know a few people who have seen the Grand Budapest Hotel, and I've seen a few scenes from it.
Welcome to the wonderful world of Wes Anderson films. It is quite an experience.
Yes, I very much need to rewatch this one. It's just, at times, I'm watching the scene so hard, I feel like I'm missing dialogue. At other times, I'm trying to focus on the dialogue so hard, I'm missing the scene around.
That's true. That's the Wes Anderson experience. And trust me, if you enjoyed this movie, which I think you did.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
This is not, and for you, audience, this is not the higher watermark for Wes Anderson. This was okay, Wes Anderson. This was middle of the road Wes Anderson. I enjoyed it a lot. And that's coming from somebody who liked his last movie a lot more than I think the average moviegoer went. What? The average moviegoer did. There we go. Asteroid City, I think, got like mixed reviews, but I adored it. It was top 3 or 4 Wes Anderson movies to me. This one is not quite there. I like it similarly to like French Dispatch, where I was like, that was fun. I'm always happy to see a Wes Anderson movie, but this isn't his best. Obviously, scenery always looks great. The camera work always looks great. The acting is always, I don't know if good's the right word, because like they're all acting a specific way for Wes Anderson. Like you don't act good in a Wes Anderson movie, but it's also very enjoyable how everybody acts.
I'm sure it's exactly what he wanted.
Yes. And it's hilarious. The movie is hilarious, as, you know, the quippy dialogue, the fast-paced delivery of it. I did enjoy it. It's one of my favorite movies of the year so far, but I wouldn't say it's peak Wes Anderson. It's just good Wes Anderson.
I guess I would definitely put it in my top half of the movies so far this year. I don't know exactly where, but...
Top half is a wide open spectrum. We've watched a lot of movies this year.
Top 5, maybe?
I'd have to look at my list. But it is very good. Not ready to give it a rating yet. We'll double back to that. This is another one of those movies that you said watch it again, and at first I was like, really? And I'm like, actually, yeah, I think so, because there is so much happening. It is tough to digest, and I would like to see it again before I really know how I feel about it. But I know regardless, it is good. Yeah. It was enjoyable, like I said. All the usual things from the quippy humor, the fast-paced, all of that. And then, yeah, it's just so much fun to look at. Mm-hmm. Even, also, I will say, even actors I don't like. I am not a fan. I've said this many times. I'm not a fan of Benadryl Cumbersome. Even he was fine in this. I enjoy. But at the same time, somebody like, I love Scarlett Johansson. She's also, I feel like, limited because they're all kind of one-note characters. And maybe that's the wrong way to put it. But they're all through Wes Anderson's lens. They're all very specific to his goal.
It's the Wes Anderson note.
And that being said, though, I feel like this was the best performance by Benicio del Toro in years. I loved him. I feel like he hasn't had a great character in a while, but I loved him in this movie.
Gosh, I don't know what the last thing I would have seen him in is. Definitely, probably...
He was in The French Dispatch.
Probably a lot further back for me than you for his work. But yeah, no, I did very much enjoy him in this one.
He was only in one movie in between this and The French Dispatch, which was 4 years ago. So, and then he was in What If? One episode of What If, which I didn't
The Collector.
Watch. Yeah, oh yeah, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy. I forgot about that. He played Swiper? Oh I had no idea he played Swiper. I want to watch this movie now. But so I love him. I usually love him. But he was especially good in this. Wasn't phoning it in at all like he might have in Marvel. What else?
It's Wes Anderson. You can't phone it in.
I do think maybe my favorite aspect of this movie, it's tough because there's a couple. Michael Cera was great. Mm-hmm. Loved him. But I also really love Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston play a couple of brothers. They may have been the best thing about this movie. They were phenomenal.
That whole scene was
so
wild
good
and hilarious.
Probably the best scene in the movie.
I always imagined, Wes Anderson was over the top. The scenes looked over the top. Now, since I don't know his movies, I didn't quite expect some of the gore that was there. A little bit, not much, but
I was gonna say gore is a strong word for what they did, but all right.
Yeah, it's not really, but like
PG gore.
It was kind of out of nowhere for me. I was like, oh, okay then. I didn't know this was your bag, Wes Anderson. But,
oh, and you know what else was really interesting? There's multiple like dream sequences throughout this movie, and I don't want to get too into them until spoilers, but they're filmed so uniquely, and it's also got great cast members in there. There's where Willem Dafoe is and Bill Murray. I don't want to say what he did, and if you check IMDb, that's cheating, but that was... I don't like Bill Murray is also the thing. That was great, though. That was one of my favorite things. That was my favorite thing Bill Murray's done since Zombieland. I enjoyed that a lot. But, yeah, the way they do these, like, dream sequences or whatever, one is very reminiscent of aspects of Asteroid City.
Yes. But
different. Same, but different. And I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. And I just, I know the cliche thing that everybody says every time they review any Wes Anderson movie is, one, it was very Wes Anderson-y, and two, if you like Wes Anderson, you're gonna like this one too. But it's like, it's hard to say anything other than that, because that's just how it is. Like, his movies are consistently good. Please don't get out of your car. Please just keep driving. Don't talk to us. Leave us alone. Please. We're not doing drugs. We're not having sex. Is he getting out? He's still sitting there. I don't know what else to say. Go away, please. Please. Okay, he's leaving. I was about to open my door. Oh, now he's stopped again. I don't know. But anyway... I'm just going to keep talking until he makes me stop. But this is very concerning. Go away now, please. It's just mall security, right?
Yeah, I figured it's just like at the other theater, with just like the security roaming around and be like,
well, that was an actual cop.
Yeah, but...
At the other place. All right, we'll backtrack a little bit. Sorry. So, to wrap up that thought, what I had said was, it is hard to encapsulate Wes Anderson into a review without falling back onto those lazy lines of, if you like Wes Anderson, it's him, it's still him, or something like that. But it's tough because he is consistent quality. There's very few Wes Anderson movies that people consider bad. They're all consistently good to great. And this is another one that is good to great. I don't know. It's not my favorite, but it's not necessarily because it was worse made. I think certain plots just resonate with different people more. Like I've gone on record saying Moonrise Kingdom is my favorite, and that's just because the plot of it resonates with me the most. It's like, it's not, oh, this is better than Grand Budapest Hotel or whatever. It's like they're all good. It's just about kind of which one's your favorite. And this one was good. It's not my favorite, but I wouldn't be shocked if somebody said it was. Okay. I did enjoy the style of it. It is most similar to me, in my opinion, Asteroid City. I feel like his style has evolved. It is shifting. It's not every single movie is exactly the same. It is going a direction. I'm sure it's a style change that's happened gradually that has probably alienated some of his original fans, but as somebody who joined in kind of in the middle around Moonrise Kingdom or Grand Budapest Hotel or something, I've enjoyed every movie I've seen by him so far. I haven't seen all of them, but I've enjoyed every single one that I've seen, and this is no exception. So I'd put it in like French Dispatch tier, if that means anything to you guys. Anyway, we're getting into spoilers now. Thanks for watching, though. We don't have a lot of time, so we're going to try to be really quick here. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, follow, review, all of that. It does help. Bye. Spoilers. Don't watch if you know anything spoiled. So really quick, because now we have like 5 minutes, which sucks.
Oh, fuck.
So basically, what I want to touch on, highest priority, is the dream sequences. Because they're filmed, he's back. They're filmed. Sorry, Yellow Lights, his man is back.
Oh, fuck.
But he's going that way. The dream sequences as they're revealed, because at first I thought he died and went somewhere, which I think is what they're trying to make.
Because it's almost always when he has some sort of life-threatening experience, he passes out.
It's when he
gets
passes
shots,
out. Yeah. But so they're filmed like, it's a kind of a mixture of like 1910s to 20s German expressionism film, but it's also like Shakespearean stuff. Like they're wearing obvious costumes. Like Willem Dafoe has a bald cap that's clearly a bald cap, right. And it's like they're clearly on sets and everything and props, and it was so fascinating to me. I love that so much. It was reminiscent, like I said, of Asteroid City because there was like a play within a movie or whatever. But this was slightly different because it was clearly representing something. I have no goddamn idea what.
Yeah,
but I loved it.
I didn't quite catch everything about it, but it was very interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I at first thought it was tied to him like being near death, or thinking maybe it had something to do with like he had a number of lives or resurrection or something. But
no.
Yeah, nothing.
I think it was just his psyche being kind of unraveled. Like it was his introspection. Like in the first flashback, he talks to his grandma, but she doesn't recognize him.
Right.
And then he's grappling with the idea of God existing. So he talks to God and asks him a question that was said earlier in the movie. And God, by the way, is Bill Murray. And Bill Murray's God essentially gives word for word, I think, the exact same answer that the nun already gave. So it's like, it's not like he's like actually talking to God. It's just whatever has already happened is kind of repeating or condensing in some sort of...
She's changing him.
Yeah, which is interesting. The movie is interesting. It's definitely trying to say something. It's not on the level of Asteroid City, which the whole thing's like an allegory. Maybe it is. If it is, it went over my head. But it's also not as simple as some of his other movies where I feel like it is just all style and no substance.
Listen, I got it. Slave labor
is bad.
Not cool.
Damnable. Which I really loved that line the first time too, because he brings it up and he's like, "Is God against slavery in the Bible?"
And I was thinking like, "Ooh,
it's a good point."
We don't look at the Old Testament.
But yeah, no, I found that fascinating. I loved especially the shot where he goes before his 3 dead wives with a carcass, and he tears open the carcass with a knife, and there's just gold coins spewing out, and it's like, that was such a cool image. I'm not entirely sure what it means, but man, I love that imagery. What else can we touch on really quick? Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston, wonderful, amazing.
We didn't. Yeah, they show up to play to because he's going through the whole movie trying to get people to pay for his deficit for this plan he's got for the.
Yeah, I was gonna say sweeten the deal, but actually sour the deal. He's trying to make the deal worse for everybody else because they realized that there was a gap between what they had and what they needed, and so he's going to everybody asking them to cover a percentage of it. And two of those are two business partner brothers, Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston, who have an affinity for basketball.
So of course they need to play horse for them to get them to pay for part of this for their share of the gap.
But the prince that's on his team has never even heard of basketball before, apparently. Just do your game. I don't know what my game is.
For a split second, obviously the brothers, they come out in their basketball gear and it's old school and tucked in the little high waist shorts and like
Jim Carrey and the Cable Guy.
It is some of the weirdest shots, but clearly they're just sinking it. And they make you feel for a split second before he takes that first shot that Benicio del Toro is going to be their team's ringer, and that if the guy, even if the prince misses every single shot, Benicio's got him. He throws that thing so far behind. It's like 10 feet behind the hoop.
Meanwhile, in the train compartment, the nun and Michael Cera's character are talking, and I love that she's never had alcohol before, but she's never drunk. Every time she drinks alcohol, she's fine.
But no. See, the thing was, she's never had hard liquor, all right? But
she never had any alcohol except for communion wine.
Well, you see, the wine wasn't hard liquor. Neither was the beer. Neither was the other
champagne.
Stuff. The champagne. That's not hard liquor.
And then she has whiskey at the end.
Yeah, that is hard liquor.
I enjoyed that. Michael Cera's character, though, was a phenomenal twist that I did not see coming.
No.
Well, I kind of saw coming that he was going to be something important other than what he said, but like to be like cool and suave even though he's still just Michael Cera was so fucking funny.
What are you talking about? He wasn't very much different than his other character. See, not that much different at all. I swear it was like Michael Cera walked off, turned around, and Timothy Chalamet turned around, popped the collar, the frizzy hair.
More like Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, I can see that.
Hot as hell. That was so good. This movie's hilarious, and like I said, I feel like there is some depth to it too, and I think it would really benefit from a second viewing because like I genuinely wasn't sure. Like obviously the point kind of is be a good person whether you know why or how. You just try to do it. Like there's that scene where she's like, whenever I pray, I don't hear anything back. I just try to do what I think you'd want me to do and go from there. Right. And that's kind of like the messaging of the movie. It's just like, do the right thing, I guess. Like, it's not like a concrete message that I got, but it was just kind of like, feel good.
Hey, but in the end, he does do the right thing. I mean, it seemingly he pays for the deficit with
himself.
Yeah. And the whole movie, he's talking about how he's going to use slave labor because he's like the most evil guy in the world, essentially, seemingly. And in the end, he pays the workers. It's not slave labor. That's progress.
Yeah. It's interesting, too, how no matter what the person's background, everybody had a capability for good. Yeah. Like, a possibility to be good. Like, you had, like we mentioned, there's like a Black Panther ripoff group. And then you've got this conservative Republican guy, he says he is. Michael Cera says he's actually a Republican or something like that.
Centrist Republican or something like that.
I forget the exact terminology, but it's like, and then you've got a nun, and then you've got an evil businessman. It's like everybody, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from or what you believe, you have the ability to do good. So that's an interesting message as well that I didn't think about until just now. Yeah.
See, all Michael Cera needed was some love. Mm-hmm. You see yourself falling for a guy like me?
I love the running gag with the plane. Where it's like the plane blows up and you hear like what sounds like a door closing, and then a bomb goes off, and then every other time he's in a plane, you hear that same sound, and he looks up and he goes, "Nah, it's a dud. Not happening this time. I've never felt safer."
I feel very confident in my odds here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in the trailer, I know, but it was hilarious. Michael Cera's like, "Is this TNT supposed to be here?" He's like, "How much time is on there?" 18 minutes. We land in 10. And so seeing that in the trailer, I thought, okay, so there's going to be more. No. The next scene, they're just there. They've gone.
It didn't matter. They landed in 10. That plane can blow up 8 minutes from now.
It's so good. I loved it. And I'm glad that you now have finally seen Wes Anderson in a true. I mean, Fantastic Mr. Fox is babies like getting into Wes Anderson.
Yeah, and that didn't matter. It was Wes Anderson. That only mattered that it was an adaptation of a book I read as a kid.
Yeah.
But I will say this has made me interested in going to see some more Wes Anderson.
You should. If you enjoyed this, those 3 movies I've mentioned a billion times, Moonrise, Grand Budapest, and Asteroid City, are a must-watch. And then his older work, too. I mean, I am more later Wes Anderson fan, but that probably pisses off a lot of people watching who are probably more purist about his early work. It's all good too. I just like his mid to late stuff even more personally. But that's just me. And I just realized we forgot to rate it. I'm giving it a 7, a strong 7 with potential to go up to a 7.5 on a rewatch. I need to rewatch it, but for now I'm giving it a strong, hearty 7.
I will give it a 6.5 to a 7.
Okay.
I enjoyed it quite a bit, but I'm gonna need a rewatch to fully catch some of those things people said. I caught the gist of the movie, you know.
Yeah.
Caught most of the important scenes, or the scenes I seemingly was meant to catch. But yeah, no, it's gonna need another watch. It would probably raise the score some though.
Yeah, it's good. I think also once you kind of get more in tune to the frequency of Wes Anderson, it will help.
I just found myself scanning every single scene and then be like, oh wait, what did they just say?
What was? We saw a movie. Oh, now that's what I thought. So when we saw The Legend of Ochi, and I was constantly going, kind of Wes Anderson feel. Do you get it now?
Yeah.
You get it now?
A little bit, yeah.
All right, that's what we had to think. Unfortunately, we have to run. Unfortunately, Mr. Yellow Lights ruined a little bit of that, and so did the camera. But yeah, we had fun watching it. We hope you guys do too. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.